You may think that all of this political game playing is a new phenomenon. You know, the rivals competing for influence, competing for power, competing to shape the future. I'll tell you, it's not new. It's as old as civilization itself. And 200 years ago, commentators even gave it a name. They called it the Great Game. This was a game that all nations wanted to join. You know, some were clearly more successful than others, but nonetheless, we had the Ottomans, the Iranians, the Chinese and the Japanese, all of the European powers. Everyone was playing this game. It just so happened that Russia and Britain came out on top. You know, this was two empires locked in this, well, pretty deadly struggle that stretched across the whole of Central Asia. It was a battle for territory, trade routes, resources, influence and power. But here's the part that nobody tells you. The Great Game, it never ended. It simply evolved. You know, in the 18th century, it was the preserve of nations. But today, the players also include corporations, financial institutions, technology platforms, global ideologies, and then even the billionaires whose influence can rival entire nations. The board changed, but the game didn't. Yet despite all of their rivalry, the old empires still understood something fundamental. Protect the homeland first. Britain and Russia may have been competing fiercely abroad, but when a greater threat emerged closer to home, like when Napoleon invaded Russia, alliances shifted because both sides understood where their civilization lived. The homeland came first, the people came first, the inheritance came first. And this brings us on to a chap called Edmund Burke. You know, Burke once described society as a partnership between those who are living, those who are dead, and those who are yet to be born. Just think about that for a minute. You know, civilization is not just land. It's our inheritance. You know, the language, the laws, the culture, the traditions and the history. It's our identity. And none of it appeared just by accident. It was all given to us by those who came before. And one day it must be handed on again. You know, ancient Greece passed its ideas to Rome. Rome passed its ideas to Europe. Europe then carried them across oceans to America, to Canada, to Australia, to New Zealand. Millions of people crossed the seas carrying more than just possessions. They carried a civilization, including its institutions, its customs, its understanding of freedom, its understanding of duty, its understanding of nationhood itself. And that inheritance became what we now call the West. Not a race, not an empire, but a civilizational family. But here's where the modern version of the Great Game starts to get different. Because many of today's most powerful forces are no longer rooted in any homeland at all. You know, corporations serve markets, financial systems serve profit, technology platforms